You're most welcome, Albert. You're most welcome, David. You're most welcome, colleagues. Okay. Thank you very much, Albert, and thank you very much, David. You're most welcome, Marco. You're most welcome, Asha. Yosia, you're most welcome. Robert, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chimera. Nice to be here once again.
It's an honor.
Also glad to be here.
Thank you. You're most welcome, Judith. Covin, you're most welcome. Nicole. Tadeo, you're most welcome. Okay.
Thank you, members.
Okay. Yes, colleagues, you can use that format I've shared to register. Yeah, thank you for also registering online, but let's have that other register here. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, we should be starting shortly. Let's give ourselves another few minutes as we wait for our colleagues. Mm. 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 So, Asha, have you got in touch with Bernard? Russia, you're most welcome. So I think let's see if we can start in the next 3 minutes. And so that we don't lose on time. Mm. Okay, colleagues, Bernard has just communicated, so I think let's give ourselves a few minutes and we start. So what I'll do is that I'll keep ourselves going until our moderator joins in. So you are going to bear with me for the next 15 minutes that I'll be sharing, and in case I'll be asking you some questions to catch up or to curtain risers. You'll be bearing with me as we move on. So let's see how we can start in the next 1 minute or two. Yeah. Sorry for the delay, colleagues. I am very sorry about the delay, but we are going to start shortly. Yep. I think, colleagues, with 21 minutes of waiting, I hope we can now start. The others will find us rolling. And colleagues, I would like to welcome you to our second Food Safety Media League webinar. I would like to thank you for, first and foremost, for your commitment and the time that you have taken off your busy schedules to join us. It has been a while that we last met, but it is nice that we have rejuvenated, or we have restarted the process. So, colleagues, I would like to welcome you on board. And as I do welcome you, I would like to say that it is going to be an interactive engagement that we are going to have today. And how we are going to have it, colleagues, is we will be having curtain riser highlights. Then thereafter, we will have a moderation following up from the first webinar where we discussed food safety in different aspects, rethinking the role of the media. Ever since we had it, how are we standing? But ever since we had it, what has cropped up? What has been going on? What are the trends? What are the insights? Since we last had the last webinar, there are a number of national, global initiatives that have been taking place and that have taken place, and many others are coming on board. If you recall, we had just concluded the World Food Safety Day, and that first Food Safety Media League webinar was part of our World Food Safety initiatives. But all along, we have gone through a number of aspects. And some of these aspects, we are going to use them to see how best we can forge and advocate for food safety further. If I would highlight one, which is very key and which will touches us all, is the UNBS PPDA kind of partnership or understanding to make sure that they promote quality procurement of foods. So that is something that touches us. It was well reported in the media, but the issue would be, how is it on the ground? That was one other event that took place. There have been a number of events that have taken place, a number of insights and consumers speaking out on the social media about the different vagaries that are happening in regards to food safety. But all that said, in the last month, on the 29th, we just observed the international awareness on food loss and waste. And one of the aspects we are going to discuss today, as we are rethinking the role of the media, the question is, why should we lose safe food? And the other question, what are the practices that are there where you are observing with regards to food loss and waste in your areas? What needs to be done for you to be advocates of food safety, to be advocates that are saying no to food loss and waste? It is said when both the food we lose and that is wasted put together is enough to feed hungry mouths. You'll appreciate globally, it is talked of over 800 million go hungry, or they do not eat the adequate amount of food. You'll appreciate in Uganda their families, their homes that do not have food, but whereas in other regions, food is in abundance, and in other areas, food is lost due to non-good agricultural practices, to poor handling practices, poor transportation practices. Then thereafter, a lot of food is wasted due to our different practices. So colleagues, as I'm giving you highlights of food-related days that have taken place, we are in a month of a number of international engagements which Uganda is a signatory to, those protocols and observations that are UN related. I've just talked about food loss and waste. This month, there is an observation of the World Standards Day, which will be on 14th. And on the 16th, it will be World Food Day. And the theme is on the right to food. And when you look at all the discussions of rethinking the media's role in food safety, when you look at it, you'll find that if food is not handled well, if the media doesn't play the role of advocating for safe food, then the consumers will not have their right to food. You and me will not have the right to food. So all these are items, or they are days and issues that we would love to discuss during the media leads with regards to food safety. You'll need to appreciate that food is your right. Accessing it, adequate food is your right. But if it is not safe, it will infringe on your right. If it is lost, it will infringe on your right. If it is wasted, it will infringe on your right. So this is why we would like to have our discourse today, and we discuss on those issues. Where we were last time, it was all about food safety, preparing for the unexpected. So there are many things that we can relate to the unexpectedness and link it with food safety. So colleagues, that is a little bit of the curtain riser that we are going to have today. And like you saw in the invite, once again, I would like to thank you very much for honoring it. Those of you who are from West Nile, the other parts of Northern Uganda, Eastern Uganda, Western Uganda, Southwest Uganda, Southern and Central Uganda, you are all most welcome to our second Food Safety Media League. I know other colleagues are going to join in. Before that, I open up for introductions. I would like to still request you book the date of 9th. We would like to see, are we independent with regards to the type of food that we are eating? We are going to have still yet another webinar on the 9th. Then on the 11th, still of this month, 9th will be Wednesday. Then on Friday, we would love to engage you to open up another aspect, still relating it to food safety, but from a financial side. Those of you who might say, or introduce it to you, the money for the CAMESA is for food. Those who leave money for upkeep at home, most of the budget of it is for food. So we would like to link the financial aspects and food. So we'll be looking at digital finance on Friday 11th. Still will too be the same time. Then the other week, still we are going to we are going to see to it that these coming Fridays, we are going to engage and continuously have our media league, different topics, but they are all related to consumer welfare, to better business, and also to enable you pick up insights and you use them in your respective region to report about and raise awareness on them, and also engage the duty bearers in your areas with regards to some of these aspects that we'll be discussing. So colleagues, once again, you're most welcome. As it is on the poster, I'm your host. Our moderator is still engaged in another food, seed and food festival in Fort Portal, but he'll be joining us soon. He's making a presentation on consumer rights and responsibilities in regards to seed and food. So we are a little spread, but we are all there to continuously scale up and increase awareness with regards to food safety, or in general, sustainable food, agri-food systems. So thank you very much for listening to me, but I would like to welcome you all, and I would request each one of you, I would not call upon any, but feel free one after the other to unmute and introduce yourself. Please go ahead. Who's car number one, or who is FSML number one to introduce themselves? Who's ready to introduce himself or herself? May I go call upon each one? Okay, let me start. Albert, may you please unmute and introduce yourself so that we catch up. Tell us which region you are in, and then we prepare for the discourse. Albert, please. Albert. Ampaire, may you please introduce yourself? I've just introduced half of you. May you introduce yourself in full, please. Okay, go ahead, Albert. A word or two from you would be good. Okay, David, go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Henry.
Good afternoon, David.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anyanzo David from Adjuman, West Nile. Thank you.
You are most welcome. How's Adjuman? Is it hot or cold?
Today it is hot.
Yeah, we have just had a drizzle here in Masoli, Wakiso, Kasanga.
It's good.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Next.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Albert speaking.
Yes, Albert.
And I'm a broadcast journalist from Kigezi. I work with Voice of Kigezi, and that is in Kigezi region in Kawale.
You're most welcome. Did you participate in the agroecology festival that was in Kigezi a few days ago?
Yeah, it was in Bonyonyi.
So that is glad you'll be sharing with us some food safety and issues that you learned from the festival. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Next, please, feel free. Either it is Prosi or anybody, feel free to speak up.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
This is Saka Ibrahim Natiti working with City Post TV, which is found in Mbale City.
You're most welcome, Saka. How's Mbale City?
Mbale is fine, very fine and okay.
We are going to be with you next week. We'll be there training the market vendors on food safety, and we'll be having meetings with all the markets next week on Thursday and Friday, and we'll be having an initiative on food safety, food loss and waste, and the right to food, world food. We're trying to engage and see how we'll be there. The media will be invited. So looking forward to
you are most welcome.
Yes. Next, please. Next, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How is everybody here at this Food Safety Media Link? My name is Job Namanya,
Yes, Job.
and I'm coming all the way from Kabale in southwestern Uganda. I'm glad to be part of this Food Safety Media League, and it's my first time to participate in this kind of webinar. So I'm optimistic. It should be
Yes.
a great one.
You're most welcome, Job, and it is a great honor having you. So we would like to spread the media league so that we talk about the food that gives us health and that gives us the foundation for life. So you're most welcome. We look forward to hearing the voices from Kabale. Next, please.
Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening.
I'm happy to be part of this course. I'm Edward Kagenda. I work with Voice of Toro. We are based in Fort Portal.
Thank you very much, Edward. Nice to see you, Voice of Toro. Are you part of the festival a few meters away from you there?
Yeah, it's okay.
At Rose Night?
I was there.
Okay, we look forward to your sharings, what you have picked from there and which your other colleagues can learn from you in the media fraternity. You're most welcome, Edward.
So much.
Next, please. Next,
Can I go?
please. Yes, go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Brenda Mugwisa Jemuranji. I'm a broadcast journalist and also I do media training.
Okay.
I'm currently based in Kampala. And this is my first time participating in such a webinar. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Brenda. It is a great honor having you and also knowing your other portfolio of media training. So whatever you're going to pick up from here and what we can pick from you and all the others will greatly benefit. So we are talking about food safety issues to do that food safety or food is healthcare. Go on, Kiza. Go on, please.
Yeah. Good evening, my friends. I'm Kiza Faizo, working with the Bouquet Day, and I'm based in Mbale.
It's a great honor having you, Kiza, from Mbale. We look forward to being with you next week when we are engaging the markets in Mbale. Looking forward once again.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead, Marco.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
My
Marco.
name is Taibot Marco, a freelance journalist, but attached to Daily Monitor, the Cooperator Magazine, and the Daily Northern News. I am happy to be part of this conversation, and you're all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. It's a pleasure not to seeing you in face, but to hear you in voice once again after a while. Yeah, go ahead, Roger.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Rogers.
Yes, my name is Rogers Mutereki. I work with Anasi Farmers, and I am joining the call from Kasese. I am glad to be part of this platform and looking forward to hearing on the deliberations. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Rogers. Did you feed the marathoners that came in for the Mountain Renzori Marathon?
Yeah, sure. It was an exciting experience having all these people come through.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, Peter.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Peter Masereka, working with Kasese Guide Radio Omosondolia.
Oh, Thank you very much, Peter. Nice to see Omsunde. Yeah. Yeah, I follow your ex, and I love whatever you bring on board. Thank you, and you're most welcome, Peter. Yeah. Next. Who's next? Are we done? Dennis, may you please introduce yourself? Okay,
Yes,
Philip, go
hello.
ahead.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Phil.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, sir. And the team members, I thank you so much for joining this wonderful engagement.
Yes.
I am Tumwebaze Philip, working with Mountains of the Moon University radio station public in Fort Portal.
Yes.
I thank you so much because you have been there with us in training us in different ways.
Yes.
And even our elder, none other than Dr. Bugambare. And I'm happy to join you.
Thank you very much, Philip. We look forward to our sharing with you, or with you and you sharing with us the behavior, all the trends with the students. I trust you are with them always on radio, and you must know the sweetest commando in the area. The question will be, is it nutritious when the time comes? So thank you very much. Next, please.
Welcome.
Yes. Next, please. Oh. Okay, so colleagues, now that a few of us have introduced ourselves, okay, who is going on? Please go ahead. Look here. Is it
Good evening,
Lukia?
team. Yeah, good
Go
evening,
ahead,
everyone.
Lukia.
I am Nantaba Lukia. I work for Next Media, Chigezi Sub-Region. It's my first time to be here.
So, Sylvia, thank you for joining. Don't go away. If, like I was saying earlier, next Wednesday we have another webinar, and then on Friday, and every Friday until the end of the month, we are going to have webinars. Yeah, Dennis, go ahead, please. Okay, anybody else who hasn't introduced themselves, you can go ahead. And as Dennis introduces himself, please don't fail to type in the chat your name, email, and telephone number. Please type that in the chat. Go ahead, either Robert or Dennis. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone here. Hello.
Good evening, Dennis. You're most welcome.
Yes.
Robert, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm Robert Telema. I work for National Media Group based in Yumbe District, West Nile.
You're most welcome. Thank you for bringing the voices of Yumbe on board. So that is great. Caroline, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm
Good
Caroline
afternoon,
Iwera, based in Fort Portal, and I work with KRS Uganda, that's Kabarole Research and Resource Center. And I'm glad to be a part of this webinar.
I look forward to this. You're most welcome, and we look forward to the stories out of the Seed and Food festival you've been in. I trust you have learned something, and you are going to broadcast it. So that said, colleagues, I think we can now sum up, and I would like to welcome Bernard. You have a busy schedule, I appreciate. So colleagues, as I go back to the curtain rising as a host, I would like to request each one of us to register like I did in the chat, your name, well, you can put your role, the institution, email, and your telephone number. So colleagues, once again, you're most welcome to our second webinar with regards to Food Safety Media League. Our webinar is all about engaging with you as you are the ears, the voice, the eyes of society. And we would like to engage with you to continuously rub shoulders with you so that you get insights to speak to report on. You'll appreciate that food brings us together. Food is healthcare. Food is medicine. But once it is contaminated, it's not of good quality. It affects our productivity. You will not be able to type on the keyboard. You will not be able to hold a camera. You will not be able to interview using a microphone. If you have taken breakfast that is contaminated and you end up having a running stomach, you end up having nauseas. So issues to do with food. That's why we say food is everything. Food is foundation. Food is togetherness. That's why we are together in this media league to discuss food. You are a consumer. It is your consumer right to have safe food. Food is your basic right, your basic need. But if it is not safe, it is not food for you. Like I was leading through the number of initiatives that have been on the international days. When we had the first webinar, it was about Food Safety Month that we were running. And the theme was planning for the unexpected. Many unexpected things are happening. If I use the example of Chitezi here in Kampala, just a few kilometers away from where we are, the unexpected happened when the garbage landfill rolled down and hit homes. Not only did it destroy lives, homes, but it destroyed gardens. It destroyed livestock, which is part of the ecosystem of food. So the unexpected, we need to look into all these. The right to food of those in those areas is kind of still challenged. So ladies and gentlemen, we are discussing a very important aspect. And you, the media, as the fourth estate, you play a major role. We would love to partner with you continuously to discuss. Like in the invitation it was, we were rethinking the role of the media in the first webinar we had. Now in the second webinar, we are looking at the commitments. A number of you did commit to reach out to your communities. Now it has been 3 months. We would like to hear from you. Then thereafter, we have just concluded our food loss and waste awareness day on 29th of September. But we would love to discuss with you, why should we lose food? Why should we waste food? What are your experiences in your area? And we will be concluding, like I said earlier, this month we are going to observe the World Standards Day. If food is not of good standard, it is poor standard. It will be of poor standard. It will be contaminated. If the food processors, the food handlers, the food transporters do not follow the minimum standards of handling food, it will end up being contaminated, of poor quality, and it can endanger consumers' life. It can endanger your life as a consumer. We'll be observing the World Food Day, and the theme is the right to food. All that we are going to discuss today can end up impeding our right to food. With bad handling of food, we will not realize our right to adequate food. With food loss and waste, we will not realize our right to. So these are issues that we would like to discuss. And I'm honored to have a colleague, Bernard, and my other colleagues from Consent who are on board to give us technical backstop. all these colleagues are all online to make sure that we have got a fruitful second Food Safety Media League webinar. So at this point in time, I would like to welcome Bernard to get on board and go ahead with the moderation. Though some of the other colleagues, you didn't manage to introduce yourselves, but please do introduce yourselves in the chat by giving us your name, where you are best, your email, and your telephone contacts. Colleagues, consent, we are registered with the Personal Data Protection Office. All the data you share with us, we manage it professionally. We do not share it without your permission in case we are to share it. We observe data protection and your personal privacy. So colleagues, the meeting is being recorded as it is required, but we manage whatever is recorded professionally. In case we abuse it, we lose our license or our registration with the Personal Data Protection Office. So that is the other aspect that I wanted to share with you, that all the data and everything that we're sharing with you is well protected by us following and using our license professionally. So that said, I would like to call upon my colleague Bernard. May you please join in and kick off the moderation.
All right, thank you so much, Henry, for taking us through the introductions, and thank you, colleagues, for joining us. Unlike other webinars where we have to be the ones talking, today it is another interesting day that we want to listen to our media teams, especially those that were with us in the previous. Our major focus today is to get feedback from you on a number of things. One, we really want to understand how you're finding the journey of sensitizing masses on food safety, but also looking at what are the challenges that you have faced during the course of spreading the food safety message. 3 months ago we met, and now we want to find out how you guys are doing it. Share with us your experiences, share with us how you are doing it so that other colleagues could learn from it, but also share with us what are those other new recommendations that you would give to us going forward, given your experience currently in the field. So basically, that is what we are going to do this afternoon. Now, I have noted that there are quite a number of new colleagues who joined us who were not present the previous time we met. And so it would be very good that maybe I could, a little bit in the next 10 minutes, maybe provide some bit of hints around food safety so that we can go into an open discussion where we have to listen in from our colleagues online. And then at the end of the session, I'll be taking us a little bit, maybe 10 minutes through food waste and food loss, just to have another addition to what you already have so that you can also start the campaign on food safety, but also food waste and loss. So those are two things that we're going to do during the course of this session. So for our members who are joining us for the first time, we know that food safety is a very big issue in the country, but also globally. We've seen so many practices out there that make our food contaminated. We have seen, if you go to Mbale, people who come from the east, you've seen a lot of cassava on tarmac roads. You've seen food dried on iron sheets that are even rusted. You've seen that the machines being used in our cities are not appropriate. You've seen people, washing cars in water bodies, and yet those are the same water bodies that actually people are fetching water from for household use. We have seen people spraying chemicals on our tomatoes and other vegetables while they were in the market. We've seen someone switches on a machine, but inside the machine, maybe there were rats inside there. During the course of the night, you know that most of the rodents would actually prefer feasting on peanuts. So during the course of the night, we've seen that rats go into those machines, and someone just comes and switches on the machine and starts running. So we end up having peanuts with with pounded rats, etc. We have also seen stories where transformer oil is being used in cookery of food, especially on the streets. We have seen people using oils over time. Someone is using the same cooking oil over and over again. We have seen people cooking food in polythene bags. We have seen people having food, but they're adding some bit of chemicals to preserve them, which are not supposed to be in human food. You've heard of transformer oil being added to the food that actually people are eating. Stories to do with formalin. We've seen a lot of all those scenarios around that are actually compromising the quality and safety of the food. So what happens is that whenever we eat this food that is contaminated, then your body is not having the ability to utilize it for the purpose it was meant for. So you find that people are eating a lot of food, you get satisfied, but your body is not able to actually use the nutrients in that food. Instead, we see people getting sick, and we see people going to hospitals, and they start spending a lot of money in treatment of disease, and yet what is causing the disease was something that you bought at 1,000. And maybe lastly, we've seen that many of us, the consumers especially, we don't like reading labels on our food. Someone tells you that this water expired 1 month or 2 months ago, and you're busy buying it and you're taking it in. You find products labeled and people are not interested in reading them. And so all those are the challenges that we spoke about last time. And we wanted you to support us in spreading this message to the communities so that they're able to handle food well and properly and be cognizant of the unsafe food and reject it as a consumer. So just to bring on speed our colleagues who were not part of us in the previous discussion, those are some of the discussions that we had. Maybe after the discourse, I'll be able to elaborate a little bit more if at all there are some bit of questions a little bit later. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the preamble of the subject that we are talking about. Now, I want to open the floor to our members who are online, especially those who joined the previous webinar, but also those who are joining for the first time, to share with us, what are you exactly doing wherever you are working to ensure food safety? What exactly are you doing currently, either at your TV, at your radio, or maybe in your articles or wherever? What exactly is it that you're doing? Could you share with us what exactly you're doing to improve food safety in the area that you work? And then as you're sharing that, it would be very best as you try to spread this message to the communities. I'll be giving opportunities to anybody who has something to share with
Bernard,
us.
I'm sorry to interject.
Next maybe 20 minutes, I'll be very happy. Yes, please. Yes, yes, Henry. Yes,
you
Henry.
had promised to say something on food loss and
Yes,
waste.
please, Henry, go on.
You had said you had mentioned
after
that
this,
you are going to raise some issues on food loss and waste.
Yes, Henry, I am going to do so. I wanted to first take this moment, first listen to the colleagues, and then I'll come in with food loss and waste later as we close.
Okay, thank you. So colleagues, as you open up to say something, and Caroline, I've just liked what you've put in the chat. Indeed, the media fraternity is very key in promotion of food safety. That is true. I'm also in your direct, I'm sending you direct messages in the chat. Please, may you please use that form and share some information by filling it in. Yeah, thank you very much. Back to you, Bernard.
All right, please just put up your hand and I'll be able to see you and then allow you to speak. Every one of us can have at least 2 to 3 minutes of sharing with us. Thank you. I'll be waiting on someone, the person who goes first. Anybody going first? Or I can randomly select. All right. I think Phil.
Yes, yes, doctor. Yes,
Share with us,
doctor.
please. Thank you.
You are listening to me?
Very well, thanks.
Okay. Good evening once again, colleagues. Philip Tumwebaze is my name once again, working with Mountains of the Moon University radio station in Fort Portal. Bernard has asked us as what are we trying to do as regarding to nutrition or sensitizing the community. Specifically like me, Philip, at my radio, I normally host the KRC Uganda, the nutrition department, to discuss with us on some key points on nutrition depending on the different topics. Then another thing in my show, I normally tip on them because we are in a certain group called the Rwenzori Nutrition Forum. I normally have such articles very well designed, and then so that they can use them to always tell my members or my dear listeners. Then as a journalist or media people, we also need to increase on our awareness or creating awareness. Because you can imagine when you are, for example, you are in a broadcast, you are having a show per day, it would be better at least to put there one word or two words regarding on nutrition, such that it can really be of importance, not only to feed the information or other information to your consumers or listeners, but also to gain something from you as an expert, because currently almost of us who have attended such trainings, I think we have a lot to share to the community members. We have a lot because now we are experts. We know most of the areas. Even us, we can even conduct such a trainings. So it would be better that as media people, we needed to engage the communities seriously using our media houses. So Mr. Bedani and Chimera, I thank you so much for always being there at the media, training them, because I was recently looking at this scenario. If at all organizations could do the way you are doing to media specifically, the information or the message, the campaigns would have been moving on very well. But sometimes you don't tend to engage the media, meaning other NGOs. So really, Consent Uganda, we thank you so much for engaging the media always, and even for keeping the media. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Phil. Can you just in a second, can you give us have you met any challenges as you spread this gospel? Do you have any challenges that you've met in Fort Portal, Kabarole?
Only that maybe the challenge you can maybe confess here, as you are trying out to maybe to follow up to these leaders who could be in the capacity of enforcing the law, or maybe inspecting where we cook from the markets. They tend to not give us real information. You go there, someone who backs you up that please go back. So you find that you are not really doing your work very well. But anyway, I'm trying.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Phil, for sharing with us. That is very good of you. And I think we can also listen to other colleagues. Someone else, please, who has something they want to share with us.
Hello, Bernard.
Yes, please. Please go on. Thanks.
Yeah, this is Wosik Swayu from Mbale. I work with the Islamic University in Uganda Radio, that's IU. For me, this side, I've tried several times to engage the public as far as food safety is concerned. One, through radio talk shows. You find that we, at a monthly basis, at least I always hold one talk show within my health program, which runs on Friday at 8 p.m. I bring around, one thing I'm blessed with, that I'm in the, my station or my radio is located within the university, whereby we have a department of food science and nutrition. So I normally engage the lecturers plus students who are doing food science and nutrition to come around and sensitize the public as far as food safety is concerned. Then still besides that, I also engaged him alongside the Secretary General of Mbale Central Market, that's Yusuf Nsubuga. I've always been with him in the show to come around and talk to the public as far as the way the Central Market of Mbale, they are trying to conserve the food that it doesn't affect the public. Then besides those radio talk shows, I've always filed different stories from the field, whereby I go to the at the markets, I go to the restaurants, I try to interview the people who are working within those places. Then I go to the seniors in food safety. I get their comments, then I file the story. Then also another thing which I normally do, whenever I'm in my program, whether it's a health program, a political show, or any other program, I always put to the public that if it's not safe, it's not food. Trying to let them that any food which is really not in a good condition, it's not safe for you to consume. So always be very vigilant. Where are you getting the food? Come here to Mbale City. We have a lot of garbage on the streets. So always tell the public. Meanwhile, as you look for what to eat in your office or in wherever you're working from, first look at the next person who is serving you the food. Is that person really working in a clean environment? So I always put such messages to the public whenever I'm in the show. Then also, besides the radio show, I got on my blogs because I run a blog in the names of Bugisu-based media, and even also my social media handles. I've always posted several information as far as food safety is concerned. And I've always, in most cases, disturbed Yusuf Nsubuga, the regional coordinator of consent. I've always disturbed him to give me the information about food safety. Then I upload it on my blog and also letting the public about it. Maybe in terms of the challenge, which I can say, the challenge you normally face that you find that sometimes whenever we try to mention about food safety and we engage the public and so on, sometimes our top bosses, they assume that maybe we have been paid to come and run these programs. So sometimes we're a little bit limited from our bosses to give much details about it. But where I call upon the concept that this will be very easy for us to always bring out the information and give it without any limitation. By if consent can come in and at least to bring some little finance to support some of our shows by sponsoring, or maybe also running some sport adverts, we can use them to run on the medias. And tomorrow, our bosses, the marketeers and so on, they may not limit us from running such programs. Then also another thing which always limit ourselves, that the resourceful personnel to host someone. If you give a call to someone that I need to host you to come and speak about this, someone like, are you going to transport me? Are you going to give me the allowance for me to come and do that? So the public is all about money minded. So we'll call upon where it's possible that consent should always at least give us a hand whenever we would wish to host, to do a show that we need someone who's resourceful. They can help us to maybe facilitate that person to come around and do the program. Thank you. I remain with Busiku from IU Radio Mbale.
Thank you so much, Busiku, for sharing with us. That was so rich, and we are grateful that you've kept on the momentum. We shall be very available whenever requested. Our team members will always come running very fast to join you for this campaign. We appreciate the work well done in Mbale. I can see that you're leveraging on the colleagues there, and I think that is very good. Could we have another person, please? If there's one who has an idea of how they have been doing it and you want to share with us.
David, go ahead.
Yes,
I
please.
see a hand of David up.
Okay, please go on. Thanks.
Yes, Bernard. I think
yes.
Let me come in. Can
yes,
you
please
hear me?
Go on, please. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. My name is Kanyoni Joy, and I'm the station manager, Light FM in Kasese. First of all, I want to thank Concern Global Kushma Center for this opportunity to letting our people know that the food we eat is what is killing us. Now, as the radio, as Light FM, when we are trained in Kasese, I want to thank Bernard because he shared with us the notes, and we try to sit as staff members and we share notes to see that we can inform our people. And now, as I speak now, I went in Chitolu. I went to Chitolu, and you see, Kasesa has a challenge of Sangha meat. So we're talking about Sangha meat of the radio. And when I reached Chitolu and people mentioned my name, some people could find much more about Sangha meat. So I explained good enough. There was a Nosi policeman who also accompanied me and give an elaborative information on how Sangha meat is transported, from where it is and why it is transported. So I see Consent Global Center is doing a great job, but also in Kasese town, we have been trying to follow up on the information that we give over the radio. There's a woman who makes kabalagala cakes, banana cakes. And then when I met with her, because we had asked about the use of camera with hot food, because she puts kabalagala in the paper, in that polythene paper, and she demanded where she could get now the envelopes, because we had elaborated more about Kavera on the radio, and then she's now looking for a way how to get the envelopes, so can be able to use envelopes rather than polythene papers. So I think this Consent Global Kushma Center is doing a great job to people, and also we want to thank you for engaging the media, because really we talk to the masses. And I am sure if we continue to our people, we will have to save more lives. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That is very, very great. I think that feedback is very important for us. So it means we need also to bring on board other actors who can come up with alternatives of maybe polythene. What else can we come up with to support such people? But maybe a quick one about Sangha meat. What is the community perception around Sangha meat? When we talk about Sangha meat and you want to you're talking like you want to stop it. What is the community thinking? What are the perceptions around Sangha meat when it comes to the consumers there? Could you give us more information around that?
Thank you, Mr. Bernard. When we were in Chitolu, I think that was Chitoma market. And when I talked about this Sangha meat, I wanted to turn against me. But it is good that the OC police there, we were just in a meeting, and we were just raising issues that are concerning those foods, the Sangha meat. So when I went to those people take the Sangha against me. But fortunate enough, the OC also stood up. It's not where has been those people who sell Sangha, but the OC in the area, and he told them, since we have talked about these issues, I am going to make sure to come hard on you, because this Sangha meat kills. And he was not an inborn in that area, but he said he will try his level best to see that people understand much more about that meat.
All right, that is great. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Katia, David, could we hear from you, sir?
Okay. Are you picking me right?
Yes, live and clear, sir.
Okay, I first of all appreciate Consent for the efforts that have been put forward to making our communities free from all sorts of the bad nutrition. One, we have always talked about mindset change, but we don't show the level of the mindset change that we really deserve. Are you with me?
Yes, you are clear, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, fine. Some of the challenges that I've realized since the engagements with COSENT is that most of the practices that COSENT advises, in fact, the first engagements that I first had with COSENT, I really realized that we are not.
Sorry, David, a little bit, I lost you. Henry, are you able to hear David?
David is breaking.
I think it is network challenges.
Oh,
So
yeah.
some other colleague can come on board. David will get on later.
Yeah, sure. So can we be hearing from another person, please, as we wait for David? Okay, I can't see any hand up, so let me just check through the chat. I can't see someone's hand. Maybe we could hear from Rusia. Is it okay for you to share with us? Okay, or maybe Rogers Sunday. Is it okay you share with us?
Hello.
Oh, yes, please.
Good afternoon or good evening, everyone.
Good afternoon and good evening to you.
Okay, my name is Prosty. I work with a New Vision. I'm based here in Kampala.
All right, Prosty, please go on.
There are many food safety issues I observe in Kampala. For example, I don't know who regulates people who keep selling pilau, chicken, pizza in the taxi park, in those big open pans. I tried pursuing that story. I tried going to KCCA. I tried getting some people to comment the health inspectors. I failed. And that story is still pending. I haven't finished it because I don't have the people to comment about that food business. As somebody said, there's some rich person who has many of those pilau pans. So my issue is, where does the chicken come from all the time? What kind of cooking oil are we using in that rice business? Even the pack itself, it is open. Too many germs and everything going into the food, but looks like the authorities have allowed it to go on. I would like to get your support on how to further pursue that story. The second thing is, I really don't have content like research work or information on what previous interventions or suggestions are in relation to the management of food and food safety issues within our area. I tried getting some reports from COSENT. Up to now, I'm still waiting. I was promised, but I haven't received any. But as far as increasing awareness is concerned in the newspapers, I think we'll take advantage of events like World Food Day, Independence Day, where there are some kind of supplements, where even if somebody has paid, at least a story about food safety can be sneaked in. But because we don't have, personally, I don't have such information, it becomes hard to put in that story. I will look forward to getting more support and information and documents about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prosy. So just a quick one.
Yes.
I didn't get very well the type of research you wanted or the information.
Like for example, you've had this market, the market meetings.
Yes, please.
In Mbale, I've been following Mbale, Gulu. You have at least some written information you found how those market vendors maybe handle food, the interventions you've done, maybe your research findings. For example, your food is properly packed. What have you found as COSENT? I don't know if you have.
Okay, that is okay. So when we get our research or research briefs, we shall be sharing the link that can take you to where we have some bit of briefs on GNUTs, briefs on maize, briefs on meat, briefs on milk. We have those kind of work. So we can be able to share with all of us here. I think as part of the packages, we shall be able to share with you on your emails. Probably after this meeting, we can consolidate them and then we share with you. But just in case you need a comment on food and whatever, it's just a call away. Please just call us and we shall be able to provide information around the handling of food in cities and etc. That one we are committed to providing that. Yeah.
Bernard, I want to just even for the benefit of others. Thank you very much, Prosi. What you have raised is all about street vended foods. And nationally, they are, as an African continent, we have got guidelines to street vended foods. And, but first, who is in charge? In Kampala, it is KCCA, Public Health Division, that has to allow whoever is selling food to operate. In other cities, still there will be public health departments that are supposed to give. They do inspect. They inspect the places where food comes from. So in case of Pirao, all that is transported to Kampala, where the food is prepared, the local government has to license. If they, let's take the food that is brought into the taxi park, it originates from Wakiso. Whatever place it originates, all the divisions will have to go and inspect and give that place a license. So as you're doing investigative reporting, we can share with you the guidelines that are required, and then you can ask the respective, have you checked where this food originates from? Have you checked the health of the vendors? Have you checked, there are a number of things that have to be checked to certify them and make sure that consumers get healthy food. All that we can share with you, and you continue with that story. Now, with regards to the work we are doing in Mbale, we are using 2 studies where our partners financed, and those studies were looking at the chemical residues on the fruits and vegetables. Then the water that they use to wash those fruits and vegetables. The samples were taken from Mbale and the Nakasero market, and what it shows, there is some levels of contamination, both with pesticide residues and also the quality of water that they use. So those reports are at disposal. You can read them and you carry on with. But what is happening in Mbale then and now is not different from other areas in the country. That's what I can comment. Back to you, Bernard.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for all of these inputs. Kindly let us have another colleague, Aaron Oketel. Please share with us.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, members.
Good evening, Aaron.
Thank you a lot. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I joined in late because of the instability of my network, but I believe you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, we are hearing you, Aaron.
Okay. On top.
Aaron, please go ahead. Oh, we seem to have lost Aaron. Aaron, can you hear us? Oh, sorry, I'm not able to pick him, so maybe Let me see who else's hand is up, then we can, okay. I can't see any hand up. Just scrolling through and see. Okay. Let me see. Colleagues, is there anyone else who wanted to share with us the experience? Okay, Isaac,
There is
please share with
Isaac.
us. Yes, please, Isaac. Isaac, unmute and speak to us, please. Hello, Isaac. Your hand is
Yes,
up. Please
please.
unmute and please speak to us. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Isaac. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so humbled to be in this engagement this time round. I'm called
Thank you.
Isaac. I work with Big FM Radio.
Yes, please go on.
I was actually trying to inquire. I don't know, has any journalist maybe from Central or Kampala, have they ever done a story on the issue of Namaojolo? Because we have heard that Namaojolo, those chicken, those food that they sell on the road, it has issues. They sometimes use unclean water. Even sometimes they can sell the leftovers. A beef which has lasted for some good time, either like 3 to 4 days. Somebody can't even stay to throw it away. He has to bring and sell it on into the taxis. So I was inquiring whether guys from Kampala, anyone has ever done on that. That's what I wanted to maybe get a highlight on that.
All right, thank you so much, Isaac. So, Isaac, just before you leave, is there something that you as a journalist has been able to undertake or to do towards this whole journey of food safety? What exactly is it that you're trying to do around food safety, and what are the challenges that you are facing? Then I can be able to respond to your question as well. Yeah.
So I've ever done so. I always have I always invite specialists, most food safety, and for a radio talk show, and of course I've ever done also a radio stories. I've ever done stories on food safety, and during my show, I always try to mention. I give either during when I'm opening the show, and also signing out. I always give a brief message on food safety. So that the challenge that we always face sometimes, most of us journalists, when you look for information on related to this, we've seen that most of the officials or the responsible people that we could get information, they're hesitant, they don't want to provide information at the reliable time. Somebody bounces you, you go to the office for quite like 1 week plus. Then sometimes even find some guys losing their morale or following up some stories. Because these guys, most of them, they don't want to give the information instant. And we also have the challenge that if we want to improve and actually continue sensitizing our community, we need to get some radio sports and also DJ mentions. Maybe if our funders can comment on about consent. So it's better if they can, if finances allows and we get some funders, they then sponsor this.
Seems we have lost Isaac. Aaron, you're back.
Now I'm
Okay,
still
please.
available.
Share
Okay.
with us, please.
On the accounts of Mr. Henry and Prose on what they shared previously is I don't safety and consent has reached as far as the people, not only consumers, but the people who prepare for us this food. Because I hail in Bale and I'm stationed in Nkoma, just opposite the Islamic University in Uganda. And the way they prepare their foods in the market is so touching, but because the foods are very cheap, people prefer going for those foods that are prepared in the market. If you follow how they prepare their food, you wonder where the individuals to caution how people to the market. So these foods are not safe. What of those people, the normal people in the communities, they are consuming these foods. That's what I wanted to raise. Thank you.
So you're trying to suggest that we can move the advocacy campaign down to people
Extend it
who
to
are
the
actually
markets.
cooking the food.
Yes, yes.
Bernard, get to the markets and be able to share with the people in the market.
Because just recently I received someone, I talked to someone told me that these people at times put Panadol pills in the bins so that these are some of the confessions that we get.
Yeah, sure. So we've been doing some bit of work in the main market, but maybe what we can do is also to spread beyond the main market to other smaller markets. I think we can prioritize that as well.
Yeah,
Henry had
Bernard.
something to say. Thank you so much, Aaron. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think that market is part of the markets that we are going to engage next week when they all assemble. But colleagues, next week we'll be engaging, I think, all the 8 markets in Mbale. They requested when we met them, the executives, when we met at the central market. So they requested we go to the markets and we speak to the management about food safety. So Aaron, what you have raised is, I think Nkoma is part of the markets that we are going to engage next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that addition. So maybe let me just have 2 more people that I'm checking online. I'm not able to see someone's hand up. Alice Kobsinje, is it okay you share with us something that you are doing? And then maybe we also have to share with us, fine with you guys. Not ready to share with us. Maybe Irene. Irene, is it okay you share with us what you're trying to do and what challenges you're facing with spreading the message of food safety and what kind of recommendations? Chirabo Irene. Okay, Irene also seems not to be ready to share with us. Maybe can we hear from Dennis? Good morning, Dennis. Is it possible you share with us? Oh, okay. I think there is no more Let me see. Okay, there's someone who had shared with me a message in my inbox saying that they wanted to share. Rosia, is it okay you share with us, please? Rosia Taibas. Oh, okay. I think the colleagues who are willing to share are done. Maybe we could then move on to the next item in the remaining few minutes. But please feel free, if you have something you want to share with us, just put up your hand. I'll be able to tell you that you proceed or something like that. Okay, so I want to thank you, colleagues, for sharing with us all the experiences. And now I want to share with you something very small about food waste and food losses. Asha, are you online, please? Asha, are you online? Oh, Henry, just confirm that you can be able to hear me so that I don't speak to myself.
I can hear you.
Okay, so Henry, if you're able to share your screen.
Yes, Bernard, I'm online.
Okay, I was my screen was failing to share, so I am sharing with you something that I'll be speaking into. Then you can just project it for the members to see what I'm trying to tell them, so that yeah, you can just share that document. I have shared it with you on your WhatsApp, but I can be speaking into it. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now after understanding food safety and seeing the different challenges that we have around food safety, we now realize that food safety is actually a very big risk factor or a cause to another big challenge that we are facing in Uganda, but also globally, something known as food waste, and also something called food loss. Now, whereas people interchange these two words, they could mean different things. So there could be a difference between food loss and then food waste. These two are usually used interchangeably. But I think from today's discussion, we can be able to clearly put up a difference between these two words, so that whenever we are communicating, we are very cognizant of which one we are actually meaning. And bottom the line, whenever there is a food safety issue, there is a likelihood that a lot of food is being wasted because of poor handling of the food. So when you look at our communities down there, the way people are drying food, for example, on tarmac roads, it is not possible that someone who put 1 ton of maize on a tarmac road will actually take back 1 ton. It's possible that actually out of the 1 ton, they will lose a substantial amount of food. Either it will be left on the ground or something related to that. So there is a lot of waste that happens whenever there is a food safety issue. We have seen also whenever there is food is being mishandled at household level, there is a likelihood that people are going to throw it away because they look at it as a stale food, and so they end up throwing it away. When you look at our markets, there is a lot of food that is actually thrown at the garbage pits just because people are not cognizant of losing the food. So at the end of the day, we experience a lot of food waste and a lot of food loss. But also not forgetting that communities out there, we have over 600 million people who sleep hungry every day. But also we have equally about 800 other people who have eaten too much and they have thrown it away. So when you look at the balance between food safety and food loss and waste, there is a correlation that happens in there. So there's a lot of, okay, someone is sending a message. Well, Asha, I'm not sure whether you've been able to download that document that I'm speaking into, so that members can be able to.
Yeah, I've downloaded Bernard, but my computer has already been having a problem of screen sharing,
Right.
so I don't know whether this time it will work, but I've downloaded the document.
Okay, let me just give it to Henry. I can be speaking into it. It's not a big document. It's just a small version to try to show colleagues the magnitude of the challenge we are talking about. So Henry, there it is. You can be downloading it as I speak into it. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, the issue of food loss and waste is therefore very important, but we cannot separate it from food safety. So whenever we are handling aspects of food safety, then we need to handle it with food loss. Now, what is this food loss we are talking about? Now, when you have food and this food decreases in quantity or quality, but when the food is still with the supplier in that value chain, then when the amount of food you have reduces, either in quantity or in quality, when the food is still with the supplier, let us say maybe the farmer in that value chain, then we would say that that is food loss. Now, this food loss excludes the food that actually gets lost or at the service provider, actually food or before the food is the consumer. So when the food is still at the farm level or at the production line, when it reduces in amount, meaning that you've thrown away some bit of it, some bit of quality has been reduced, then you can talk about loss. Now, for example, if you have chicken at home and they're laying eggs, and then while the eggs are still at your hatchery or at your home, and you realize that some of them start going stale, it means that already you are losing the eggs. Similarly, if you have beans or peanuts and maybe you're sorting them, and then you realize that 8 or 7, it means that there is other scholars say that the food that is disposed of between the farm and the business human. Okay, so we can also look at now food waste. Now, food waste, just like I talked about food loss, this is just a decrease in the quantity or the quality of food, but this is happening at the retailer or at the food service provider's place or at the consumer's level. So when you buy food, Henry, just go to the second slide. Okay. Well, we have key definitions, yes. Then you could put in slide mode so that people are able to see that. Thanks. Food. When you lose food at your consumer level, so you had food, but your food keeps on reducing in quantity or in quality, either at the retail or in the market or at home when you're eating it or at the time of consumption. Now that one is no longer loss, but is waste. So food waste basically happens at the retail level, or it happens at the service provider's level, or it happens at the consumer level. So what does that mean? That a farmer has sold their food and the food is in the store already. So when the food is already in the store, now food starts going bad, or during the course of loading and offloading, the food keeps on, getting lost. You've seen, for example, when people are offloading trucks that were carrying maize, and then you see the maize is actually washed off the car. And so what was 1 kilogram is now quarter. And maybe the half has been discarded off during the course of, back and forth in the setting. Or maybe you have a retail shop and then there are rats and the rats keep on consuming some of the food and you end up having little food that you're left with. So that's decrease in quantity. First of all, you have also to keep noting that food loss and waste, we are not only looking at decrease in quantity, but you're looking at both quantity and quality. So you can maintain the quantity as 1 kilogram, but the quality has reduced. So every time you lose quantity and quality at the farm, that is food loss. When you lose quantity and quality at the retail consumer point, then there we are talking about food waste. Henry, could you please go to the next slide? Now, the next slide, of course, we see that whenever there is food waste or food loss, Henry, I'm not sure whether you have not skipped one slide there. I have a slide that talks about the aspects of food loss and waste, that when you're handling aspects of oh, sorry. Well, I don't know whether you...
There are only 3 slides. Bernard?
Oh, sure.
There are only 3 slides.
I gave you then. Yes, please, Henry. Yes. Sorry. Anyhow, I have one with. Anyway, you just pause at that. Look into this. 3 aspects. One of you realize that whenever we lose food, then there's a lot of carbon emissions that go to space. Secondly, whenever you tamper with food, whenever you have food losses, then it means you are tampering with food security. You're tampering with food safety issues. And so whenever you manage food waste and loss, you're basically having a triple win. You're handling issues of climate change, you're handling issues of food security, but also you're handling aspects of sustainability of our food systems. So that is how important dealing with food waste and loss would be very, very, very important. That whenever you're preventing food loss and waste, you are responding to climate change. Whenever you're managing food waste and loss, you're tackling issues of food security, and also you're sustainably managing agri-food systems. Now, according to FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, there is a report that they released in 2019 and indicated that 14% of the world's food, which was actually valued at 400 billion every after harvest. So you have every food that is harvested per season, 14% of it that was actually valued at 400 billion is lost during harvesting before actually it reaches the market or before it reaches the shop. So you can imagine that is the money that countries lose because of food loss or food waste. So you're talking about 400 billion US dollars that is lost per year to food waste. And also there's a research done by UNEP. It's called the Food Waste Index report that also came out, and it was showing that actually of the food that we lose, 17% of that food ends up being wasted in retail or at consumer level. So even after we have lost the other one at the time of production, now we see that 17% of what now comes to the retail is actually lost before the consumer takes it up. Lost, or most people are not going to the food that we have. To FAO, it is also estimated that the food that is lost and wasted could be able to feed 1.26 billion hungry people every year. So the food that we lose every single year is able to provide adequate food or adequate meals to 1.26 billion hungry people in the world. So you can imagine that whereas we are losing a lot of food, other people are starving, and that could be able to feed them. So those are some of the pictorials that I wanted you to look at, what Henry is showing us, showing some bit of how food is actually getting to waste, or how food is getting lost. You can imagine those tomatoes, you can imagine those peanuts that that lady is having. Now, as she's sorting, there is a lot that she's actually throwing away. So before the food is even reaching the consumer, that lady is already throwing away food. And how food is being thrown is because maybe there are poor food handling practices at the farm, at the consumer level, rather at the farmer level. People are not handling food well. Instead of, peeling the food, people are beating the food. So we find ourselves losing a lot of food that other people would actually need. So ladies and gentlemen, That is the snapshot of the food waste and loss campaign that we're going to deal with, trying to encourage people how they handle food and how best we can prevent food. And so I wanted to end with that so that we can have maybe the next session. Sorry, I had to make sure that this is not so big so that we don't lose it. This is our starting point of dealing with food waste and food loss. For today, we needed to understand what it is and what impact it has on